Gather around, you little shits. I'm gonna read you a story. Chapter 1, The Celestial Duo. Yeah, our story begins a very, very long time ago with a young girl. One day the girl spotted a rusted spaceship holding the small star child. "What's your name? Are you lost?" asked the little girl. "Do you have any cigarettes?" "I'm Luma, and I'm waiting for Mama. She's coming for me on the comet," said the star child. "You can go to the comet too, but you have to drink your Kool-Aid at exactly 2:20 in the afternoon on Wednesday, March 31st in 1974. Make sure you use 9 parts Kool-Aid to 5 parts rat poison, or it won't take effect on your body." "Don't worry, I'll wait with you," the little girl promised Luma. After nightfall, the little girl borrowed her father's cigarettes and telescope and peered into the sky. She looked and looked, but she saw nothing. Hours turned to days and then years, but still the sky revealed nothing, and her mesothelioma got worse. Finally, the little girl sighed and said to Luma, "If we stay here looking much longer, I'll be an old lady soon." But then she had an idea. "Why don't we go out there and find your mother ourselves? Maybe she has the cure to mesothelioma and some cigarettes." The little girl Luma fixed up the rusty spaceship, which I guess is something they could have done years ago but decided not to for some reason, and then the two set sail into the starry sky, leaving her entire planet and life and parents and everything behind. And this is how the search for the Celestial Mother began. Chapter 2, Star Bits. Days passed with no sight of the comet, and also the cigarettes ran out, which made the girl very agitated. She could kill Luma for a lucky strike right about now, or even a single planet. Instead, asteroids extended as far as the eye could see. "If I had known it was gonna take this long, I would have packed more jam and cigarettes," said the little girl. Before they left, she had packed all the essentials: telescope, butterfly net, lighter, stuffed bunny, cigarettes, bread, milk, Jack Daniels, and some more cigarettes. I forgot to bring Damn it. She'd be dead, wouldn't she? If she didn't bring any water, she would just be dead. Alright, hold on. I forgot to bring water. That seems like something you should have thought of. I think you need that to live, said Luma. And then Luma laughed as the girl began to shrivel up into a husk on the floor of the spaceship. Yoke, you don't think that you need water when you're a kid. Like, you'd pack 19 Cokes, but no water if you were a child on a spaceship. "As long as I have star bits, I'll be fine," said Luma. "You want some?" The little girl couldn't stay mad after hearing this. After all, he was offering her a brand new kind of drug, and hopefully it wasn't laced with fentanyl. Look, you might as well keep smoking the cigarettes. If you've got no water, you're just gonna have to enjoy what you do have. Luma continued to laugh, and the girl couldn't help but join in. The hallucinogenic was kicking in, and she was going on a really insane trip. Alright, maybe just a nibble. Leaning far out of the ship, the pair began to collect star bits with the girl's net. They almost fell out a few times, but they kept collecting. The star bits tasted like honey. A beam of light pierced through the ship's window. Thinking it was the morning sun, the girl peered through the window, only to find a turquoise blue comet shimmering at her. The little girl shook the sleeping Luma awake and shouted excitedly, "We have to get to that comet. They got to have cigarettes there." The pair descended on the comet and found that it was made of ice, which is good because it's actually water and she needs that to live. They looked high and low, but Luma's mother was nowhere to be found. Exhausted, the little girl sat down with a flop, utterly unable to take another step. "Look!" Peering down at the icy ground where Luma was pointing, the girl suddenly noticed clusters of star bits encased in the ice. "Pretty good, huh? Finding star bits is my specialty," said Luma, beaming. "There's ice here, but it's so warm. I'll bet there's water here too." The two decided to stay on the comet for a while. Riding the turquoise comet on, the pair continued to search for Luma's mother, who went out for cigarettes and never came back apparently. Chapter 4, The Dream. One night the girl dreamed about her own mother. "Where are you going?" she asked. Her mother retreated back. "To the store," said her mother. "For cigarettes. I'll be back in a little bit." Without turning, her mother replied, "Don't fret, dearest. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywheres. I was watching over you like the sun and the day and the moon at the night." A wave of sadness washed over the girl. "What about when it rains and I can't see the sun or the moon?" Her mother thought for a moment before responding. "That's fucking stupid. The moon and the sun are still there. You just gotta wait for the rain to stop." When she awoke, the girl's face was damp with tears. "You have star bits in your eyes," said Luma to the girl. "Let me eat them. I will drink your tears." Wiping her face, the girl replied, "These are tears, not star bits. I'm crying because I'll never see my mother again." "Why couldn't you see your mother again? Just go back to where you came from. You have a spaceship." The pair traveled through the starry skies and thought they encountered many other comets, and though they encountered many other comets, not one of them held Luma's mother. Now, Luma, the rain clouds won't go away if you keep crying," the girl said, giving Luma a squeeze. "I'll give you a present if you stop." The girl closed her eyes and said gently, "I'll take care of yous." With these words, she felt a small spark in her heart. It was a heart attack. You can't smoke that many cigarettes at 11. Alright, gather around, you little shits. It's time to tell another story. Any of you got a light? Chapter 5, Home. "The kitchen will go over here, and the library will go over there," the girl said busily to herself. "We'll put the gate here." Ever since the girl took Luma under her care, she'd been bustling about at a feverish pace. "It's a lot of work, but it's worth it to make a happy home," the girl said, taking a slow drag on her cigarette after a hard day toiling on the star. It turned out that the star bits were the only things buried in the ice. There were tools and furniture, unlike any that they had ever seen before. And the girl used them to build her home and also farm her cigarettes. Looking at the completed house, Luma remarked, "Don't you think it's awfully big for just the two of us?" "It has to be that big," said the girl, "or else the cigarette smoke will get everywhere. You want it to rise into the vaulted ceilings where it can't be smelt from the ground." With a library, bedroom, kitchen, fountain, and gate, it was certainly a spacious, but still something seemed to be missing. "If only my father, brother, and mother were here," the girl said wistfully. Indeed, the house was too large for the two small residents. Even with all of the cigarettes she had stockpiled in the corner, there was still many more space to go. That night, clutching her favorite stuffed bunny close to her heart, the girl fell asleep in the starship. Why would she be sleeping in the starship? She just built that house. She built herself an entire house and she's not even staying in it. Did she decide it was actually too big? Chapter 6. Friends. Who needs them? One day, while the girl sat sipping her tea, a tiny apricot-colored planet appeared on the horizon. She doesn't really know... Does she know what an apricot is? I don't know. From the planet, another Luma of the same color emerged. Apparently the planets are segregated, said the girl to herself, smoking on her lucky strike, the toasted smooth taste soothing her horrified throat from all the tea. Do you know each other? The girl asked the two Lumas gleefully, racially profiling them to assume that they all know each other. Despite the girl's excitement, they seemed uneasy. The two Lumas neither drew close nor backed away from each other. Instead, they just stared. The accent is really good, thank you. Then one Luma broke the silence. The girl was worried they were about to have a Luma moment. My mama, said the Luma. At once the apricot Luma parroted back, my mama, my mama. My mama, my mama. Is you two's gonna cook a pizza or some shit, the girl asked? Why you saying that? The two Lumas began to dance around the girl frantically, and neither showed any signs of stopping. Are they a hive mind? Did the other Luma forget who the girl is? Did the gravitational pull of the other planet wipe their brains? The girl was so charmed by this adorable scene that she couldn't help but laugh. That's when something very strange happened. Suddenly, more Lumas began to pop out from the apricot planet. They were different colors, but they all shouted the same thing. Mamma mia, cook me that pizzeria. The sight of all the Lumas shouting only made the girl laugh harder. I'm Italian, I can say those things. What am I gonna do with all these children? How will I ever afford the child support, she said, sucking down another lucky strike in desperation. Ugh. The Luma stared blankly as she doubled over laughing. Good thing she's not dying. The Lumas seem like they would be powerless to help her. I guess we'll have to name each and every one of you. Tomorrow, when she finished naming all of them, she would begin moving all the Lumas into her new house. Chapter 6. The Telescope. After seeing the 100th comet, a sudden thought popped into the girl's head. I wonder if my home planet is still as blue as it was. That's when she remembered her father's telescope. This thing that she had forgotten the entire time. Peeking into the telescope, a tiny blue dot floated into sight. It was smaller than a star bit. How strange. It's so far away, but it feels so close, like the cure to mesothelioma. She twisted the knob of the telescope, and the blue dot grew until she could make out a grassy hill dotted with flowers. It seemed very familiar to her. Zooming even closer, a terrace on the hill came into view. I used to go stargazing there when I lived at home, on my home planet. She remembered rubbing the sleep out of her eyes as she followed her father up the hill and looked at the stars. Why will she needs to sleep so she can grow. Why are you waking her up for that shit? Doesn't she have school in the morning? She remembered how she and her brother would slid down the hill. She remembered having picnics with her mother on that hill. On bright, windy days. Those seem like terrible days to have picnics. I want to go home. I want to go home right now. I hate this. I hate all of you Lumas. I am being driven insane by you people. You don't do anything. There is no human life out here. God is dead and the universe is meaningless, cried the girl. The girl burst into tears and the Lumas didn't know what to do because they're not human or parents. I want to go home. I want to go back to my house on the hill. I want to see my mother. The girl was shouting now, her face wet with tears. But I know she's not there. I knew all along she wasn't out here. I knew all along that she wasn't out there in the sky because she's dead. It's supposed to be sad now. What's sad is mesothelioma. I just joined. What game is this? Mario Galaxy for the Wii. She's sleeping under the tree on the hill. That's where they buried her, under that tree. You'd think a hill would be a really bad place to bury somebody because as it keeps raining, it'll eventually wash the hill away. The girl's cries echoed through the stars, and a hush fell over the area. Chapter 8, The Wish. Though usually quite cheery, one day the girl became sad, and Luma drew close and tried to comfort her. Mama, you still have me. Don't be sad about your mama, because she's a part of you. That means she's always close by. You know, like quantum entanglement. Really, time and space are illusions. It's like me, I love star bits because they remind me of my mama, and I have a crippling addiction to them. No, said the girl, unable to stop her tears and fumbling with her lighter on her lucky strike. A lonely look flickered across Luma's face, but it was soon replaced by a wide grin. I have an idea. I'll transform into a comet. A soaring comet that can carry you on this carry you all on this journey. Why do you do this so well? I don't know. With that, Luma, trailing bands of white soared high into the sky, and just as quickly it started to plummet back down. Kaboom, kablam! The ground shook. A bright light poured out of the crater, and that the Luma created, like phlegm from the throat of somebody with mesothelioma. The bands of light twisted together to form a comet tail, and the Luma emerged reborn as a comet. The girl scarcely believed her eyes. Now her only other friend was dead, and she was left all alone with these strange other Lumas. Our destiny as Lumas is to transform into different things, said the red Luma who had suddenly appeared. Stars, comets, planets. We can become all these things. We can even become cigarettes if you want one. When I grow up, I want to become a star that makes someone special smile, said the green Luma. A blue Luma chimed in. That Luma turned into a real cutie of a comet, didn't he? All the Lumas together said, no more crying, Mama. Here, have a lucky strike. Thank you, said the girl in a whisper. And she pulled the Lumas close and hugged them. You thought the cough was ad-lib? It was ad-lib. From the... Okay, that one wasn't. From that day on, the star bits no longer fell from the girl's eyes. The comet set forth for the girl's home planet, its long trail blazing proudly behind it. Ooh, final chapter. The final chapter. My chest would hurt. My chest is starting to hurt a little bit. With this many Lumas and telescopes, the comet was quite a sight to behold, and the girl and the Lumas were proud to call it home. At a welcoming party for a new Luma, the girl gathered everyone in the kitchen and said in a louder voice than usual, "Light me up a lucky strike, we're going home, gals." Alright, everybody, let's make a cake. A cake sprinkled with star bits. Then it will be a star cake. The Lumas excitedly began to gather the ingredients. As she watched the Lumas scurry about, the girl smiled and thought to herself, "This is my family now, and I will stay with them until they're ready to leave the nest. He literally turned into a comet to bring you back to your other family. Why are you now deciding that you're not gonna go there?" Why would you do that? And when they do leave, I'll see them off with a smile. Because that's what makes a mother happiest. That night, when the girl lay down to sleep, a soft light enveloped her. Enveloped her and reminded her of the blue planet she once called home. But it would be nice to return home once every 100 years to nap in my favorite sleeping nook. The comet carried the Lumas and the girl continued on its journey to this very day. With more family members in tow than can be counted, it's said that the comet visits the girl's home planet once every 100 years. Its proud white tail glittering in the sky. The end. Anybody got a lucky strike?